All right, everybody, welcome back to Piraeus in Greece. Getting some comments asking about how to get a visa to come here. You know, you do get a 90-day visa, so it's a tourist visa, and you can put you anywhere in the Schengen zone, which is the EU, essentially, for 90 days. But after that, you know, you need a national visa. In Greece, I think it's the Type D visa. And it lasts for 1 year. There's a couple different options though that you could get. If you just get the national visa, it's 1 year, yes. Then there's the digital nomad visa, and then of course there's the golden parachute, which is, you know, where you spend like it was $250,000 on property, and it's a lifetime golden visa. But I think that's up to $500,000 now, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, you know, most of you are going to come here looking for a retirement visa. So that's the financially independent person's visa. And that's what I'm on, and that is what I'm familiar with. So because I'm familiar with it, I guess we can go ahead and walk through that process a little bit. Definitely don't do what I did at first though, which is just come here and think that you're going to live here. Because it's not quite that straightforward. Before we get started, I would really like to thank all of you who have been giving me really you know, motivational comments to keep going, all that kind of support. You know, I didn't think I'd get anything like that, or people saying that, you know, oh, I saw my house. You know, it's a small world. It really is. And for those of you who are in Piraeus, if you ever see me out with my dog or my fiance, you know, you're welcome to say hi. You know, we're just one big community here, so it'd be kind of cool, I think. And just real quick, like one of the cool things about these neighborhoods, there's great little fish markets if that's something that you're into. And this cat's always outside waiting for the good stuff. Psst, psst, psst. Hey, kitty. Yeah, fresh fish in there. We got a little restaurant too, so mussels here are always really good. This whole region. When I go to Turkey, they have midye dolma, which is like a cold rice stuffed mussel that they sell on the street as a street food, and it's delicious. But most of the mussels, I'm pretty sure they come from northern Greece. They have like mussel farms like that. And anyway, I don't know, but they're delicious, absolutely. But as I was saying, you know, you have 90 days here, and after 90 days, you should have a good idea of whether this is a place you want to live or not. For me, it was pretty obvious. You know, Greece is stunning. The history here, the people. If you're looking to date, the women here are absolutely gorgeous, and they're different. But there's a lot more to Greece than just that. And the longer you're here, really, the more this place kind of unfolds and becomes even better, honestly. I mean, besides when you leave the city, you know, the staggering natural beauty of the place. Now, if you are going for the Type D, the national visa, and the financially independent person's visa, there's a bit of paperwork you need to get together. It's important to know that in order to get this visa, it has to be done in the country that you're from. So, me, for example, in America, I had to be in America to actually get the visa, because you have to go to a Greek consulate in the country that you're from. So it's not as difficult as it seems, but don't be like me and come to Greece and just think that you're going to live here. I was here for 60 days before I was like, I'm going to get the visa, you know, I'm going to have a life here. And it wasn't the smartest idea, because, you know, I went to a whole bunch of different government buildings, you know, see if there was a way around it, but, you know, they're like, hey, no one's special. I respect that. And I had to fly back to the United States, which was expensive. So I ended up going to the Greek consulate in Washington, D.C. And I just went to the Greek consulate's website and set up an appointment on there. Didn't have to talk to anybody. And I think within 2 days, I was able to go there. But before all that, there are some things that you need to get done. If you're going for the financially independent person's visa, you know, you have to show proof that you have an income of 2,000 euros a month. So your social security, your disability, your pension, whatever that be, you're gonna need proof of income. So bank statement works fine. You know, for the VA, just like VA benefits, verification letter, stuff like that. You don't need your DD-214 or anything like that. And then there's the health stuff. Health stuff isn't too expensive, honestly, but I got it done when I was in Greece, so it only cost me like 60 bucks. But you need to get a urine sample, blood sample, and a fecal matter sample. And is this uncomfortable? You know, but it doesn't take much time at all. The thing that does take time is you're gonna need to get a background check done by the police authority of your country. So the United States, that's the FBI. So it's actually quite painless. You know, you just go on the FBI's website, there's a link for it. It's a common thing. People get them all the time. So it doesn't take much effort, but it does take some time to actually get it. I think for me, it took about a month before the email was sent to me, the package containing the background check. And so once I had my background check done, all my bank statements, my VA verification letter, and all the health stuff, that's really when I made my appointment. And from then I went to the consulate in DC and sat down and had my interview. And it's super simple, you know. Ouch. Be professional, you know. They just want to know who you are, why you want to go there. It doesn't have to be anything serious. You're just like, I really love the place, you know, I'm going to study. Like I told them I was going for writing. This is true. Almost done. So, but yeah, you know, you don't have to have some kind of crazy reason. And, you know, don't be afraid that you're going to get rejected. I was afraid I was going to get rejected because I have a past, you know, a long time ago, but I still have a past. And that wasn't the case though. So after about 3 weeks, I got a phone call from the consulate saying that my visa was approved and I can come next week and pick it up. Fantastic. So I went back, they gave me my passport with the visa stamp in the back, and that gave me permission to enter the country of Greece and come and go kind of as I please for a year. Now, normally you can get it for 2 years. Oh, the fee. When you're at the consulate, you're gonna have to pay a fee of $250. And for some independent visas, financially independent visas, it can actually be $1,000. So keep that in mind, but it's an investment. If you're gonna be here for a year, years, in the long run, it's nothing. It's absolutely worth it. You're gonna save that amount of money in 2 months. So, you know, don't stress about it too much. Just pay it and enjoy yourself. Don't let it hold you back. Now, once you land in the country, you're gonna have to go to the Ministry of Migration, and that's where you're gonna get your residence permit. With your residence permit comes your tax ID number. Your tax ID number is important when it comes to renting a house, an apartment. You know, it's easier access to public health. If you need like medications that are considered narcotic, they can't really give them to you. So you come with your 90-day prescription like you normally would when you're traveling. And when you're out of those, you know, you'll have your tax ID number. You just go to a Greek doctor. They're all really cool. They'll work with you and you can get your prescriptions filled here. And that's it. That's the process for getting your national visa. That's the process for getting your financially independent person's visa. And super simple, like I said. When it comes to lodging though, those first 90 days that you're here, if that's what you're gonna do, keep in mind that it's difficult to find a place that isn't Airbnb. And Airbnb is expensive, but there are ways that you can do that. You know, you can go to expat groups on Facebook. Expats in Greece is one that I'm on. There's always apartment listings going up on there. People subletting their apartment for a few months at a time. And it's a great place, absolutely great place to get actual rentals, because you can still get them on there for, you know, $400, $500, $600 a month for really great places in really good parts of the city, like Piraeus, Pagradi, Kalatea, even in the city center, if that's a place you want to stay. Too touristy for me, honestly, but you know, you around all the cool stuff, that's for sure. But there are ways to live here and not spend a lot. You know, you just have to make sure that when you're making your financial choices here, that you're actually doing it in ways that Greek people do it, and making sure that you're not letting people take advantage of you because you're from a place that has more money. So you know, don't be afraid of that. But it's super easy. You can find a place. It's like anytime you move to a new place, it's going to be a period of adjustment. Really, that's all it is. So get your visa, get a place to stay, and just take a deep breath and welcome to Greece. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to your life as an expat. And it's going to feel great, and you're going to love it. So, but thank you guys so much. If you're still here, give me a like and subscribe, because this is a lot of fun. And I forgot all the work I really went through to come here, and this makes me relive all that, kind of the good and the bad parts of it. But you know, for every bureaucratic stumbling block that you're going to get from the government, which you're going to deal with, because the Greek government is, wow, you know, it can be an absolute mess, and even Greek people will tell you that. But you can do it. So like I said, you're still here. Thank you for the comments and suggestions. Thank you for the support, for those who've given words of support. This is a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I thought. And engage in the comments, give ideas, you know, things you want to talk about. If you're curious, before you come out here, I know a lot of you, the analytics say that you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. So there are special considerations when it comes to things like that. And you know, any questions, don't be afraid to ask. If you want to know about dating and women, you can absolutely talk about that as well, because I did quite a bit of that before I found a woman to settle down with. So, yeah, thanks again, and I'll talk to you later.